You are listening to Trophy Horse with your hosts, Tricky Nick, Alex, I Yield to Noah, Sid, and Ender Phoenix.
Welcome everybody to Trophy Horse episode number 695. I am not Tricky Nick hosting for you tonight because Tricky decided to, forget all his recording equipment when he ran off from us. So you get me, Matt, hosting with you tonight. And with me, as always, Alex. What's up, Alex?
You know, Matt, I consider myself a good guy most of the time. You know, when I played Infamous, I always played the good route first and only played bad when I had to. But man, being the villain in Carrion is just plain fun. Being this this monster that just devours everything is a lot of fun. Except when you get shot and die. That's not fun. But you know what? Payback's coming, bitches.
And the payback via the screams and everything else happens is so fulfilling. But also fulfilling is we got Yield here. What's going on, Yield?
It's been a long week. Has anybody else felt like that? Because, man, I'm just tired.
Yeah.
I'm glad it's a short week this week.
Equally glad that it is short. But speaking as to the week, I just want to take a moment out of this and just want to bring everybody's attention. One of our community members, you know her, Kalai. Unfortunately, one of the things that we had to report out is her husband, Jim, had been suffering from a form of cancer for many years now. And unfortunately, with the news of what happened this past weekend, we just have to report out that unfortunately, Kalai lost Jim this past Friday. And I just want to, A, dedicate this show to him, and B, remind everybody, reach out to Kalai. Just, she's doing okay, but just let her know that we're there for her, that we love her, and that, we're very sorry for what she's going through. But she's a strong girl, definitely will, needs her friends and family at this point. So again, Jim, we miss you. Best of luck to you from where you're at. And like I said, the show will be dedicated to you tonight.
Yeah, no one ever wants to get that text because obviously I haven't been on Facebook for a year now. And I'm not always the most optimistic person, but kind of not hearing much on that front, knowing that Jim had been sick, I'd kind of been optimistic and hoped things had gotten better and, everything was better. And since I'm not on Facebook and not getting regular updates, to get that text message from Tricky was pretty awful. So, obviously wanted just all of us send our condolences to Kalai, for Jim's passing.
So, the only thing I'll say, and I think everybody agrees with me on this, and it's something Kalai's been saying all along, is fuck cancer.
Yeah, no matter what, they say music is the universal language, but I swear, it's the message of fuck cancer is probably the most universal message you'll ever come across on this planet. Because no matter whether you like death metal or hip hop or country or pop or whatever, fuck cancer is just a universal.
I think everybody agrees with it. All right. So with that said, we will get into the show proper and we can do our updated trophy counts. And for Tricky, he is level 972 with 35,087 trophies and 1,001 plats. Alex?
Sorry, I was fighting through all the spam in my email to get to the Matt's email. Level 527, total trophy count of 10,983 with a platinum count of 201 in 200 games.
Yield?
538 with a trophy count of 11,564 and a platinum count of 222.
It's going to be heartbreaking when you break that 222.
It will
It's a
be.
nice even number.
It is.
Speaking of level of 222, I am still level 222 with 1,352 trophies and 0 plats, while Sid is now level 901, 27,959 trophies and 867 platinums. We do not have a Sophie's Trophy review this week, but Yield, I believe we have a trophy rarity contest rundown.
We do. With 4 weeks of the current season remaining, Pee-wee continues her pursuit towards her maiden title. 82 points this week saw her move to 1,947 points at the top. Both Doc Chicken 13 and Edge have surged in the last couple of weeks, and it was the former who top scored this week with 272, moving him to second on 1,600. Diego, meanwhile, had 118, moving him to 1,550. Nitro and Citrus are still within striking distance on 1525 and 1502, respectively. I dropped to 6th, scoring just 3 points this week, taking myself to 1332. Redbeard Rick closed the gap on me with 76 points, moving to 1240. Not much movement in the middle of the pack with Gareth, Marky Frazier, and Mies Goetzelot all scoring well with 70, 72, and 56 points. Crook 09 and CJ are battling to see who finishes 11th, 12th, while the regulation dogfight looks to be set between three of 4, with Tricky, Waterfields 1, Mr. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle 84, and California Wayne. Tricky managed 7 points, moving him to 327. Mr. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle 84 pulled away slightly from California Wayne. There is now 22 points between them, with 620 and 598. Division 2, a score of -1 saw rolling on the floor laughing out loud. Z cut Ifrit Hellfire's lead at the top. Ifrit still leads the way with 1,059, but Josh hit 30 points, getting him to 933 in second. Nightmare 317 earned his first trophies since August, including a platinum, which you'll hear about in the shoutouts, moving him to 497. Joining him on the 479 ground is the Grounded Gamer, as a fire truck goes by the house, who top scored Division 2 for the week, scoring 72 points. Alex climbed to 5th with 436 points, having scored 21 points this week. Nicely done, sir. He overtook Murray 2011, who drops to 6 on 427 with a 7-point increase. Dupes 25 dropped from 4th to 7th, following a score of -3 this week. There weren't too many other big scorers further down the league. The standouts coming from the Brain 76 with a score of 40, closing the gap to just 1 point on Resident Daryl on 336. Dodge Williams hit double-digit figures with 17, moving him to 306. Shout out to Dat1 Seagull, who scored his first points for several months, coming in Bloodborne. He had 8 points, moving him to 64 in the 18th spot. Rarest trophies of the week. Meets Goats a lot in 5th with Lost and Found from Assassin's Creed Mirage DLC at 4.6%. Pee-wee and Gareth with The Reckoning and Vampire Masquerade Blood Hunt. He didn't give the percentage. Third goes to Psychiatrist with Bodied and Brawl Out at 1.04%. Second, Doc Chicken 13 with Team Exchange and NBA 2K26 at 1.38%. And first, for the second consecutive week, is Diego with Decorated Veteran and Call of Duty Black Ops 7 at a 0.94%. In terms of number of appearances in the rarest trophy of the week over the course of the season so far, Nitro and myself lead the way on 13. Diego has 10, followed by California Wayne and rolling on the floor laughing out loud Z with 8 each. And that is it for this week's rarity update.
Well, it's a good thing we are trophy whores because there was a whole lot of whoring for trophies in that contest. Good luck to everybody in your continued pursuit for trophies and the whoredom of getting trophies.
The glory
That was a
of
horrible
whoredom.
segue.
The glory of whoredom.
The glorious whoredom.
That's a hell of a lot better than I could do. Alex, you want to regale us with what you've been playing this week?
Please, Matt, please. So coming off my Spyro trilogy platinums, my trilogy of Spyro platinums, however you want to say it. I talked about it last week. I started Carrion. I'm in the final stages of the game. Not a super long game, but there's some nights, and maybe this is just me, but there's some nights when you sit down to play a game and you sit on the couch and you're like, I don't want to do a fucking thing. So you cover up with a blanket, you stare at your phone, and then you just gradually fall asleep. But no, I'm at the very last stage of Carrion, and then all I have to do after that is go back and get all of the containment units, where basically the containment units are. So the game, I touched on it before, is a Metroidvania style game where you will gain powers later in the game that you need to go back and do certain things to pass certain areas and get to the game secrets, as I'll call them. So there's a bit of backtracking, and I just need to. I've gained all the powers now. I have one more to get, which will allow me to go back and get anything I need to in the game. So I have 5 of the 9 containment units, so I need to go back and get 4. My only real issue with the Metroidvania games is this game, again, it's not a huge map, but I would really like a map to be able to tell where I'm going, because otherwise I feel like I'm fumbling in the dark or just randomly running around the map trying to get to places, and it's just kind of more helpful if we have a map. And with Metroidvania games being, something that has been around since the Super Nintendo, I kind of feel like making it as easy as possible on people to know where they're going so they don't have to memorize everything is just for the best. Prince of Persia, The Lost Crown had a really good system where, if you listen to me talk about that when I played it earlier this year, they have a system where you can take like a photo or leave an icon on the map of a place that you need to come back to later, which is phenomenal. Now, The Lost Crown is a much bigger game with a much bigger map than, say, Carrion, but just having a map and having areas grayed out or blacked out where you can see where you still need to go. I don't know. I just feel like it could be easier to go back and backtrack, and backtracking would be less of a headache if I knew where I was going. But I mean, other than that, the game is fun. I do enjoy being the monster quite a bit, and yeah, it was just after the Spyro games, it was nice to go back and play. I mean, I guess the Spyro games are also old school games because they're just remakes of games that were from the 90s, but playing like an old school, smaller indie game like Carrion, which I've had on my bucket list for a while now, or I guess I would call it my backlog. It's been nice to go back and play because I do like those palate cleansers where, I don't. My stepbrother texted me earlier this weekend. Shout out to you, Chris. And he asked me about how he doesn't understand we play AAA games. He's more of like a PC gamer, more retro gamer. And I explained to him, it's like, I don't really play a lot of AAA games. In fact, there's only 2 games. By the end of this year, I will have bought 2 games that came out in 2025. One was Tales of Iron, which is not a AAA game. And the other is Marvel Cosmic Invasion, which is coming out on December 1st, which is also, I would not classify as a AAA game. So I told him, it's like, dude, a lot of what I'm playing is going back and playing old games and indie stuff as well. So, Carrion, just another game in that library of the retro games, the indie games. So yeah, I mean, that's aside from Ghost of Yotei, I'm just not digging the AAAs much anymore. They honestly, a lot of them just take too much fucking time. But then again, that's just how I feel. But when you're busy, when you're doing a lot of shit, the AAA games just aren't always what you're looking for. So, but once the new year passes, the holidays are over, and I have less to do, I'm stuck inside more with the cold weather and not out mowing my lawn and mulching leaves in late November, I'm sure I'll have plenty of time to go through Ghost of Yotei. But yes, for now, just getting through Carrion, mopping that up, and then finding some way to occupy my time before Marvel Cosmic Invasion.
So, with you getting close to the end of Carrion, have you gotten the final power-up yet?
The last power-up I got was the shield from the Armored Warfare facility. So I have not gotten... And I know you talked about this, Matt, and we can touch on this more. I know this is your last show for a bit because obviously moving and whatnot. But I'll be probably able to talk about it more on next week's show. But, I get your disappointment with like how you get this really super cool power and how you only get to use it at the end. Or you don't get to use it for a lot of the game. And it kind of throws me back to High on Life, which I played a couple months ago. or maybe maybe about a month and a half ago, where the ultimate god tier gun, or like the Ratchet and Clank Rhino style gun, let's do it. You get it for the final level and for the final boss fight, and then after that, they take it away from you. So after you've beaten the game and you're going back to mop up stuff, you don't have that gun anymore to use. He's just kind of sitting on the couch at your home and like just chilling with the other like NPC characters that are your friends. So I'm like, it's just kind of like another one of those examples where I get it. Like if you get this weapon or this ability early on in the game, it just makes everything a cakewalk. But I do understand your point of I wish I had this more because I could have more fun with it.
Yeah, and listen, it's not a complicated game in the aspect that they give you multiple ways to solve the situations that they present you with. So it's not like getting it any earlier in the game as designed is going to be helping you very much. But I would have liked to be able to see how it gets used earlier on in the game. So definitely when I get back, we'll talk about that. And to address the elephant in the room, I talked with the guys. Alex mentioned it, but this is going to be my last show for a couple weeks. As you've heard me say on the show multiple times, V and I are in the process of moving. We're closing one little chapter in our life of living in the house we do, and unfortunately, we just haven't secured the next place yet. And that means we're going to be without a situation that I can record. So I don't know. Maybe if the worst happens and I'm not around for 700, maybe I'll record something that you guys will have on the show. But hopefully we'll be here in time for that.
Matt, what we'll do is we'll just record like 20 fireside chats, and that way we don't have to count those as episodes. And that way you can be back to 700.
Yeah, let's see how this next couple of weeks go. I'm banking on being in our new place before the end of December, and then we'll see where we're at.
Because you never know with Tricky's work schedule; he may not make it to another episode before you get back. So
no, that's true too.
Yeah, unintended. If you guys delay the shows just to get there. So yeah, okay, get that elephant out of the room. I'm sorry, Alex, are you done with what you've been playing?
Yeah, that's about it.
Okay. Yield?
Mine's been really short and sweet. All I've really played is Recreation. I got the last couple of trophies that I could get before really it's just win everything. Win all the events. So I'm just down to that. I've really spent most of my time watching some of my Star Wars shorts on Disney Plus because my subscription ends at the end of the month. And so I've been kind of binge watching some Star Wars cartoons. That's kind of what I've been doing.
Is that the Icons or one of the other series?
I've been going through Visions.
Yes. Okay. That's what I was.
And then I want to go through all the tales of ones. There's Tales of the Empire, Tales of the Jedi, Tales of the Underworld. So those are all kind of short. I think they're like 15 to half hour episodes, and I'm just kind of burning through all those. Visions actually wasn't bad. The second season was better than the first one, in my opinion.
Oh, really? And I liked the first one.
I liked it too, but I enjoyed the second one.
Okay. I'll have to get on that, especially when I'm out in a hotel room just doing nothing, either playing on a portable console or watching something. As for me, it's kind of like Hilt said, it's been a hell of a week. On the PC side of things, just a whole lot more arc raiders. We started getting into these things called night raids. So traditionally when you're playing in arc raiders, you're going to the surface during the daytime. There's less arc activity, or maybe they're not as angry during the day. You can see other raiders more clearly because you got daylight helping you. Night raids, there's higher level loot, more valuable loot that you can get, but also it's harder to see. The arcs are a lot more angry. And we've had some successes with PvPing other raiders and a lot of failures PvPing other raiders. It's been touch and go for certain rounds. It's fun because you never know. I tell you, the sweaty palm syndrome when you've got some high value loot or guns in your inventory and you can't fit them into your safety pouch and you're going, please, I just want to extract. I don't want to deal with anybody else right now. Just let me go. So it's the hardest part of the game when you get got and you lose all your valuable gear, but then realize it doesn't take much to get back to where you are. So it's just a temporary setback. That being said, my buddy Steve and I went out for a raid earlier today, and we brought like high level guns and armor and things like that. And we're just sweaty palming it throughout the entire round, trying to get some high level loot from the big arc machines. Like they range in various sizes from small, medium to damn, that's huge. And it takes a lot of coordination to take the big ones down. So you don't want to go through all that and suddenly have somebody come up and just kill you and steal all your hard fought loot. But that's the value of the game. That's the fun of the game, is you never know what you're going to get when you go up topside to raid. It's kind of like a box of chocolates.
You know, someone had to go there, Matt. I was ready to pounce.
I knew you were. That's why I got there before you.
Get out of my brain. Get out of my head, Matt.
I also went back and played a little bit more Dragon's Dogma 2. I restarted the game because I couldn't remember where the hell I was. So I figured might as well just restart. And instead of an archer this time, I rolled a thief, a little dual blades action. And really, I just wanted to push this game to the limit when it came to the graphics on my PC, just seeing how much better I can get now that I have the 5080 in it. And damn, the game looks beautiful. It doesn't play the greatest, but it does look beautiful. So I only played about an hour or so of that, not much to report there. And then the only other time I really spent was on my Switch 2. I played more, actually I went back and played Donkey Kong Bonanza. I finished another layer. I got all 74 bananas on that layer. So felt complete moving on to the next one. And then I also went back and I played more Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. I was just exploring, taking my last save in the game that I beat years ago. And I just go back and I'm exploring and seeing what else I can find, not being as particular about my weapons. If, in the game, the weapons break or degrade over time, and I'm just having fun with it. And that's all. That's really it. But that's all I've been playing this week. I haven't had a lot of time for varying multiple games, but those I did get to play, I put some time into. So moving on to the news. And we're 22 minutes in. We're already on the news. Being efficient this week. You remember how last week we were talking about that fancy new announcement Valve had with their Steam machine and the controller and the Steam frame?
Oh yes, Gabe Newell's totally cubular companion.
Yeah, some might call it the Gabe Cube. Do you remember how much you thought you said it would be, Alex?
Was it 600 and 800?
I think that's what you put. Yield, did you have any input on that?
I said around 500.
Okay. And I said below 500, maybe above, depending on the model version, between the 512 and the 2 terabyte models. Well, so the first article we have comes from Tech Power Up, and Valve claims the Steam machine outperforms 70% of current gaming PCs, meaning that it's got some hefty graphics capabilities. It's got some good hardware in it. And that starts adding up in my mind. And I go back and say, all right, well, maybe that increases it. And if you're familiar with Linus from Linus Tech Tips, one of the famous YouTube channels, he put a report out that sat down and said, well, I addressed the elephant in the room and I asked them if this would, since you're advertising this as a console, would it be console priced? And they said, well, what do you mean by console priced? And he goes, well, $500. And he said the room got quiet and the response didn't feel great. So taking that, and Valve even came out and said, listen, this is not going to be priced like a console. It's going to be priced like a PC of similar specs. So that's kind of telling me I'm probably wrong on the pricing. I think this thing is probably going to be closer to that $600 to $800 mark you're talking about, Alex. It's not feeling comfortable with them saying that it outperforms 70% of the gaming PCs. Well, how do they know that? Valve constantly asks for feedback from users. Every once in a while, I'll log on and it'll say, hey, can you do a can you fill out this Steam survey data? Literally, it just pings your system, detects all of your PC parts, and uploads that to Valve so they know what their people are running, so they can properly figure out the games that are on their platform and what is capable, what people have. And also it helps with them with their game development, however few games they have. But hearing all that, it makes me very nervous that the price of this thing may not necessarily be feasible. Alex, hearing all that, how do you feel about my new hypothesis?
I mean, yeah, I mean, you're probably right to feel like, oh man, this is going to be, they're going to pump up the price on this thing. I think looking at the Steam Deck and knowing what kind of audience they're going to sell to, like I said, this is not going to be a mainstream box. And Valve, obviously, the Steam Deck, they see what the sales are for that. I don't necessarily know that they're not going to try to hit sales of like Switch or PlayStation 5 or anything like that. But they do see a market for this kind of thing. So, I mean, for you to feel like, especially for the answer to be like, basically, hey, this is what the consoles are generally priced. What do you guys feel about that? And for that to be the answer, for the answer to basically give a lot of uncertainty, I think we're all right to feel like this is going to cost you a lot of money. It's going to be probably more than people who have been conditioned to buy consoles at stores, made by Nintendo, Xbox, and PlayStation, are going to feel maybe a little bit more uncomfortable about the price. And here's the thing. I also think that Valve is smart enough to know that if you're trying to sell to a mass market audience that are used to buying Nintendo consoles, those people are going to expect to buy a game or download a game and be able to play it on their console and have it run as well as possible. Well, the thing about PCs are, and I don't know if how it's going to work with the companion cube, but PCs, you have to be aware of the specs. You have to be aware of what your system can handle and what the game requires. And I have a feeling like if people who are in the mass market audience who are used to going and getting like a Switch 2 for the holidays for their grandkids or for their kids or something like that, like I said, just used to pop it in a cartridge and it plays. I feel like you're going to run into some issues where that audience is like, they buy a PC type machine and they don't pay attention to, what the specs are. And although, I mean, Matt, I guess I'm talking for nothing here because like if the companion cube is meant to where you're not going to have to upgrade, like say a graphics card, right? That is the ease of it. It's supposed to be easier to use than a PC.
Yeah, essentially that there's no replaceable parts in it. You can't just go in.
So basically a game comes out, you should be able to expect to play it on there, right?
No,
Okay,
because
so my hypothesis that you're still going to have to pay attention to specs is correct.
yeah, because what's going to happen is you're going to have game developers 5 years from now, again, if this thing launches early 2026, they're not necessarily aiming for hardware from 5 years ago. However, that being said, as a game developer and you're making a game for PC, you do have to account for many different formats. What this does, and I heard this on another podcast because, I listen to other podcasts, surprise, surprise, that some developers may take this as a way of saying, well, kind of like the Steam Deck, I can make a Steam machine specific setting and you can aim it for appropriate performance on that. But to your point, it potentially has the problem of, 5 years down the line, Crisis 10 comes out and it can't run it. I mean, the Steam Deck runs into that issue. So I can't run Monster Hunter Wilds on it. I can run Silent Hill F, but that doesn't necessarily mean that all games are going to be future-proof on it.
And knowing that, I think that Valve will temper their expectations for what the sales are going to be. And I think if you expect the same to explode in sales, you're going to be disappointed. But yeah, I mean, people who think that this is going to be an affordable PC, maybe more affordable than a PC you build on your own, but it's definitely going to cost you more than the standard Xbox, PlayStation, or Switch. I don't think there's any question about that. Even our projections for the prices were, on the higher end. So I think we were around like 500, 600 just for the baseline model, and for the top line, you start inching towards, like I said, 800, but some people probably would say 1,000.
And the other thing about that is people are going to forget, like Valve says, you can install whatever OS you want on it. It's a PC. However, unless you are a PC enthusiast, a parent might be buying this for a kid, and the kid goes to load up Black Ops 7 on their Game Pass and realize, oh, I can't inherently put Game Pass on it. I can't install EA Store. I can't install Epic Game Store. You literally have to do some fugazi workarounds with it. So yeah, it's nice having a single form factor that you don't have to worry about. However, some parents might be buying it for kids who don't fully understand. I mean, frankly, if they're spending that kind of money, I question that, but hey, who am I to say? Yield, do you think my hypothesis holds water as the judge from My Cousin Vinny would say?
It sounds like it. It sounds like it's going to be north of $500 now, since they didn't confirm or deny, and everybody got the sense of it was rather uncomfortable question to ask. So yeah, this is going to get interesting.
Well, surely I will definitely be keeping everybody involved as it relates to the price gate of the Steam machine, because I still kind of want one regardless of what the price is. I mean,
I like Companion Cube.
I wish it was the Companion Cube, but Steam does what they do, or Valve does what they do. I think somebody else said that it should have been called Steam Engine. There's a whole bunch of Steam related pun names that they could have used, but at this point, it is what it is. So, speaking of what it is, how do you guys feel about Black Ops 7?
Not my cup of tea.
I feel like it's a new year, time for a new Call of Duty. That's what I feel.
Well, that seems to be the case. That's the philosophy over at Microsoft as well as Activision Blizzard, because the new Black Ops 7 came out, and wasn't there a story just a couple months ago how one of the Call of Duties suffered due to the game pacification of the the buyout?
Wasn't it that it was still the top selling game of the year, but they had lost a certain amount of money? Was it $300 million because they put it on Game Pass?
I think that's what it was, yeah.
So still sold really well, but they also missed it on sales because people just played it on Game Pass.
So I wonder how much that kind of plays into this next news article, because metro.co.uk says Black Ops 7 physical sales down 61% as it fails to beat Battlefield at launch. Now, there's a couple different things here to take into consideration. Physical sales down 61%, but they don't mention what the digital sales. The article even says Black Ops 7 could make up for this decline with increased digital sales, but 61% is a far bigger drop than you'd ever expect from one of the most popular franchises in the world. So I don't know. I don't know if it's Game Pass, but I can tell you people at EA are celebrating because Battlefield has never beaten Black Ops 7 at launch game. So for them to hear this is pretty important. Man, if they only came out with Titanfall 3 in the same time period, that would have been great. So I don't know. Alex, do you think this is the game pacification, or do you think maybe based on the reviews of Black Ops 7 and the controversy of saying that there's not a great campaign and use of generative AI to create content in it,
I think
you think that has anything to do with it?
I think most people that buy Black Ops or Call of Duty every year that have gotten in that habit could care less about AI. I also think that a lot of people who buy it yearly play it for the multiplayer. They don't really care about the single player. I'm not going to say everybody, but some people buy that game and they probably never touch single player. They just go straight into multiplayer. So I think those are less reasons as to why this is happening. And AI, a lot of people may not even recognize it being used. So I think the thing is, if you're going to buy, there's probably a tail to Call of Duty, but a lot of people are going to buy it up front. So any negative reviews or anything like that, I think are just kind of like people are going to blow by that. A lot of people. You also may have those people that a bigger factor may be that, maybe people are waiting to see the reviews and then they just continue to play the Call of Duty they were playing last year. other Call of Duties might actually cannibalize their sales a bit more than what's going on in the current game. But I think that you have to look at it as people pay for a subscription service for access to these type of games. And when they have access to these type of games, and I don't know, has it kicked in yet where this kind of thing, we know it's only going to be available to the top tier Ultimate going forward when it comes to Game Pass. But have they started that yet where you have to wait a year or up to a year to play a game?
I don't know, because I know I was able to download it on the version of Game Pass V has on the PC, which isn't Ultimate. She doesn't pay for Ultimate. She just pays for PC Game Pass. So it was still available there. So I don't think they've started that yet.
So what I would think is either people still playing old Call of Duties, because again, they come out every year. So people are still playing older Call of Duties, and the fact that it's on Game Pass have something to do with this. I mean, we saw it affected sales last year to the tune of, hundreds of millions of dollars. So you would think that same case here. It being on Game Pass, it being on a subscription service that allows people to play it without paying the full price would affect the game sales. Because I'm a small sample size. I don't represent everybody. But if I'm paying for a subscription service, or I'm gifted a subscription service and I have access to play a game on that subscription service, I'm not buying it full price. I'm just not. I'm going to save that money and spend it somewhere else. So you may have people that, yes, want to support the developers, this, that, and the other. I think that kind of loyalty is reserved for independent studios, or like maybe your Sucker Punches or your Insomniacs. I don't think people really feel bad or feel that emotionally tied to Activision or Treyarch or Sledgehammer or Microsoft themselves. So I don't think that you have those people who are going to be like, unless the game is leaving the service, I don't think those people are going to be like, oh, I really enjoyed this Call of Duty. I'm going to go pay full price for it afterwards. That's just me, though.
Well, I don't know. Yield, I mean, I know Black Ops 7 isn't your cup of tea, but when you look at this and it says that physical sales are down, do you think, is there anything you do to kind of extrapolate that from compared to other games' physical sales, or do you just think people are really tired of Black Ops 7 or Call of Duty in general?
I think a lot of it has to do, like Alec was saying, with Game Pass. I think a lot of people are going digital. So your physical sales might be down, but what are your digital sales? And there could be, finally, after all these years, some Black Ops fatigue. So, I guess that's where we stand.
We'll just move on to the next article. I think we beat Black Ops 7 to death as Treyarch or whoever, ZeniMax, whoever makes it year after year. Next article. I know I've talked about this before, and I know there's probably not a lot for you guys to address on this, but Star Citizen, as being reported by InsiderGaming.com, that is a PC game that has been in early access since, as many of us can remember, but it has been in a playable format since 2017. That's not the real reportable here, not the 8 years of alpha testing. It's the fact that it was announced in 2012 and accumulated $885 million in crowdfunding. Now, we talk about Xbox or PlayStation, not even those, I'm sorry. We'll talk about Grand Theft Auto and Rockstar and the amount of money they've put into that game. That is their money, their development. This is a company that has been selling pieces of the game for well over a decade now, and crowdfunding has given them nearly $1 billion, and they still aren't out of early access. And it's basically, for those who are unfamiliar, Star Citizen is a massive, sprawling space sim type game with futuristic ships and all sorts of things that are going to be implemented in the final version. Nearly $1 billion. Alex, if you had nearly $1 billion, would you still be working on a game?
If it was a labor of love, I assume they started making this game because they loved it and they want to have a finished product. I mean, me personally, I would say, man, we're doing really well financially, and I want to finish this game. Like, I mean, this is like, I don't talk about legacies much because I don't really care all that much. But if I start a project, I'm not going to just leave it unfinished. I'm going to finish it. So, me personally, I would be grateful for the financial security we had, and then use it to actually finish the game. I don't know. Maybe that's just me, but I feel like, I don't feel like you get into game making just to become rich. I feel like you get into game making and you start projects for the most part because you love to do it. And I'm talking the developer side there and the like artist side and the music side. I'm not talking about like the CEOs who like gobble up game properties and studios, because it's money. It's a very large section of the tech industry, and video games make a lot of money, or like they're big money. So I'm talking about the people get in there, like the coders and stuff like that. That's what I'm talking. I very much see a lot of that work as labors of love. So it doesn't surprise me they're still working on the game after all these years. But wouldn't you want to finish the product in a place where you felt like, yeah, this is done. There's nothing more we can do for this game.
Well, to that, I mean, Yield, I'll ask you this is, do you feel like maybe they owe it to the people who've paid nearly $1 billion to actually, release the game in a 1.0 state?
I mean, if I gave over a huge chunk of money, I would want to see my game done that I donated to. So, yeah, I would say they owe it to them to get it done. I thought this game was done years ago. I didn't know we were in alpha.
Yeah, evidently they're still coming out with Squadron 42 as like the single player campaign. I don't know. I years ago spent I think like $50 on an access pack, and it gave me a ship and I could fly around a test field. It was neat, but not like groundbreaking. So I still don't know what they're actually trying to do. This reminds me of EVE Online, where people spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on ships, and like the largest war ever had, there was like millions of dollars in ships lost. So I sit here and I go, I wish, I mean, people are getting stuff. They can launch parts of the game and play it, but man, I don't know. Nearly 13 years of development and still not out of alpha and still getting money. I don't know. This is not what early access was ever meant to be. It was meant to be a system to help developers who couldn't fund their project get launched, get the funds they need, and people were able to play along the way. So I don't know. So very strange.
Well, here's the thing though. Like once they get a finished project, are they going to be like selling a full game to people that have been spending this money all along? Or is it going to be like, you spent this amount of money, so you have unlocked the full game?
No, the people will get the game. The bigger question is, what parts of the game will they get? Because kind of like EVE Online, there's going to be different classes of ships. The ships that you can fly around will be different. What you have access to depends on what you can use in certain parts of the game. I don't know. To me, there's just so much still up in the air with this quote unquote game. Let's see. Next up, you guys remember us talking about Game Informer and how it came back? Well, guess what? Game Informer is actually going to be coming back to newsstands. What was that, Alex?
Oh, I was going to say it's already dead.
No. It's actually quite the opposite, is that they're going to start coming to places like Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, GameStop, which is funny, Gelson's, and other places in local markets. So if you feel like maybe you didn't want to buy into their subscription, they're going to be printing magazines, and it's going to be available for purchase at the local bookstores. I don't know. I some of my favorite times is going to Barnes & Noble or other places, just buying gaming magazines and reading them. So hopefully this brings up some form of childhood. Yield, did you do a lot of game magazine reading when you were a kid?
I was a Game Informer subscriber up until they started dorking with everything at the end. So it's good they're coming back to print. So I hope I hope they got better with their articles, because towards the end it was just it was just very bleh. So, but it's good. You know, gaming needs that out there, in my opinion.
Yeah, like there's specialized magazine like PC Gamer and other things. It's like, or Xbox anything, or Sony Connect, whatever it was. I like a generalized game magazine. Back in the days of GamePro and Electronic Gaming Monthly, which I bought into the EGM Kickstarter. I have access to like all of the backlogs of EGM, and it's fun going back reading some of those earlier magazines. So I'm happy for them. Alex, you going to be picking any up off the newsstand?
You know, I can't say that I do have a nostalgia for the video game magazines, because I did like flipping through them. The problem was when I was doing that, so much wasn't so freely available on the internet. And the other thing is, as I've gotten older, I've paid less attention to gaming news. Like I do keep, like I do get stuff on YouTube, and I do get, stuff thrown in my face because, of the algorithm. But I don't seek out news like I used to. Like I would actively, like first thing in the morning, just go to websites and look. Um, so the magazine era for me was, I wasn't getting as much information on the internet, so a lot of what I was getting was from magazine, so they were more useful to me. But also when I was younger, I just dedicated a lot more time to soaking up as much information as I could, and I just don't do that anymore. So while I think it's great to see print media, and not just like magazines, but like books and bookstores, seeing physical books, I think all that stuff is incredibly important. So having those things is great, but am I going to go buy one? Probably not, because in the end, it's just going to end up in my recycling bin, and I don't, I just don't see a point. For me personally, it's not something I need.
I mean, I get that, but I also do love being able to sit down and read with a magazine even these days. So I'll probably grab, a couple versions. I didn't buy into the subscription model. I eventually probably will, but there's just something nice about having those magazines. So hopefully them
Nice to get
coming
something in the mail other than bills and junk.
Yes, accurate. And I hated the whole digital movement. I don't like reading magazines on my phone, with the exception of EGM and all the past articles I can't get. But man, if I was able to get those in
Frank?
actually they did have a compendium that's coming out, I think. You were saying, Neil?
I said if you could get those in print, you'd be all over it.
Well, they actually, I can download the files. So if I ever wanted to print them out myself, I could.
You could? Okay.
I am going to skip this last article. It's the finals, which is that Dr. Disrespect studio game that came out a while ago. Just saying that PS4 service is going to end on March 18th. I don't know how popular the finals is, evidently enough, but this is the developer Embark Studios, who also made our fun Arc Raiders. So just be aware, if you have a PlayStation 4, the finals support is coming to end on that service, but PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, and PC versions will remain in operation. So I want to replace that article with, this is probably going to enrage you, Alex. GameStop will host a Trade Anything Day in December.
I heard something about that. I thought it was just a bunch of BS.
No, it's first thing I thought was, is this a really late season April Fool's joke? And there's a little bit of a misnomer here, because it's GameStop Trade Anything with a huge asterisk. And I'm going to read over this as quickly and as easily as I can. You cannot trade in hazardous waste, chemicals, liquid lithium-ion batteries, or items containing lithium-ion batteries, which eliminates a whole lot of electronics. Weapons and ammo, dead or alive animals, except taxidermy items are valid for trade. Alcohol, tobacco, drugs, pharmaceuticals, legal or not, computers such as desktops, laptops, notebooks, all-in-ones, minis, workstations, e-readers, tablets, thin clients, smart displays, virtual reality headsets with built-in processor, interactive flat panel display with built-in processor. Computer peripherals intended for use with a computer and weighing less than 100 pounds, monitors, keyboards, mice, pointing devices, yada, yada, yada. Here you go. Facsimile machines. They had to be specific and call it facsimile. They couldn't just say fax. document scanners, printers, 3D printers, label printers, digital picture frames, small electronic equipment, including digital music players, VCRs, DVD players, DVRs, digital converter boxes, cable or satellite receivers, projectors, small scale servers, televisions, gift cards or other currency, foreign or domestic, jewelry, sexual and explicit images, items resembling body parts. So you can trade in anything except if it meets one of those. And the other part is it has to fit, I think it's in like a 20 by 20 by 16 box. Nobody knows how they're going to value these items. Yeah, there's no pulling up your car.
Your old car? See, that's what I was thinking. I was like, I'm going to pull here my old car. Here you go.
No clue how they're going to value these things. No clue how they're going to...
Knowing that it's GameStop, you're going to get like a dime.
You are only going to be allowed to trade one item in, meaning you can't just keep coming back. I imagine they'll do that via, I think they record your driver's license or ID or something like that. So I think I just kind of want to go to the store and just people watch to see what's being traded in.
Trade in, yeah.
I don't know. Alex, how do you feel about all of this? Because I know your thoughts on GameStop, but this is extra.
So
feels like a Hail Mary.
I don't understand what they're getting from this. Like, are they just going to like resell this shit? Or because to me it just seems like, hey, get rid of your shit. Don't know what to do with this? Get rid of your shit. But I don't know what GameStop really gets from this. Like, are you going to have the workforce there to deal with whatever people are bringing in? Like, I don't know. Like, is the one clerk who works there on any given day, or the two that work there on any given day, are they going to be able to handle whatever's brought in? And are there going to be people are going to bring like, or could potentially bring like, yes, there are exclusions, but the wide variety of things people can bring in, including taxidermied animals, of course. How are they going to value those? Like, how are they? It's like a lot of times, like they'll scan an old game and it'll tell them in the system, oh, this game is worth this much money. You can't do that with a fucking taxidermied fox. So I don't understand what GameStop is getting out of this. What are they doing? Like, are they just trying to bring people into their stores to hopefully buy stuff? And they're just going to junk a bunch of this stuff? I mean, I don't know. Like Matt, the issue is, how are they going to value this stuff? But if you're bringing in like, oddball things, you're clearly just trying to get rid of them, because might want to keep some of that stuff because you could probably get more money for it elsewhere. GameStop's not going to give you a bunch of money for a lot of the stuff you have. They won't even give you, a lot of money for the game, the items they sell in their store. Like they'll resell a console, they'll really resell a game. They won't give you hardly any money for that. So I don't see the point of this day. Like it's a nice, like, crazy story to talk about, and reading the exclusions is funny, but I really don't know why GameStop is doing this, other than they're just desperate for foot traffic during the holiday season.
Okay.
I'll give you a half a bag of peanuts and a used stick of gum. Okay,
so I just Googled this, and it's on GameStop's actual site.
Oh boy.
Yeah, this is going to be infuriating, because this just really begs the question, why even do this? If the item fits in our 20 by 20 by 20 trade anything box, isn't on our exception list, and is trade anything day worthy, we'll give you, hold it, $5 trade credit for it.
Ooh, wow. A whole $5. Woo! Jump all over that deal.
They
folks.
used to give $5 as part of their freaking pro membership monthly, and now it's you have to give a shit to get your $5. Oh, I don't know. Maybe I'll bring in a pen. I'll bring in a pen and I'll give him a pen and say, "You said $5.
You said $5. I want my $5.
A pen is a pen, but $5 is $5.
Go buy a whole lot more pens for that $5. You go buy a pack of pens for $5. Hey, you're running low on office supplies? Just turn in a pen, and so that's a base $5 for anything you bring in that is that applies to this.
Here we go. Additional exclusions. Broken games. Siblings and other close relatives. Living animals. Yes, that includes your ant farm, guns, unless it's the Halo 3 battle rifle. Stolen items of any kind, unless it's Half-Life 3. Reprint. Recently unburied copies of E.T. The video game, Italian plumbers, mushroom people, and giant fire-breathing tortoises. Well, if you're trading in a giant fire-breathing tortoise, I will give you more than $5.
Yeah, I'll give you 6.
I will even go up to $7.50.
Whoa, $7.50.
Whatever the heck a bandicoot is. That Zune you used only once, bonfires, ashes of your loved ones, nuclear bombs, any UAVs, ray guns, or noob tubes. Oh my god, this is going to be a shit show. I really on their picture they have like sunglasses, a boot, a yo-yo, a taxidermy squirrel. Yeah. I really think I want to go just to people watch. It is worth more than $5 of my time to people watch the shit
Right.
people are going to bring in.
And watch somebody get irate when they find out it's only $5.
Oh my god. That's going to be funny. Well, they don't have to give it. It's not like they put it in the box and say, well, now it's gone forever. So the person has their choice. All right.
That was funny. That was worth for the laugh factor.
Yes. We are going to move on to listener questions. And guess what? In a week without Tricky, you don't get the stupid music because I don't add it in. All right. First question coming from Gareth. And this will be a question for you guys. What are your worst trophy lists in games you've completed, been, and wouldn't recommend doing for anyone who hasn't completed it? So you've done the trophy list. You think it's horrible and other people shouldn't do it.
I don't know if I've had one that's really been horrible per se. I've had one that have been annoying because of the time consuming or what you had to do to find a group of people and do. Red Faction Guerrilla on the PlayStation 3 was very mind-numbingly, painstakingly brutal to get through because in essence you had to play 500 games. If you're the gamer that helps the other person get their 250 wins, so you had to play 500 games, and that was rough as of recent memory.
Okay. Alex, do you have anything?
Well, generally I feel like having to play online for any significant amount of time, like was it Resistance 2 or the original Resistance? One of those games had it would have been Resistance 2 because I don't think the original Resistance had a platinum. Resistance 2 had, I think, just stupid requirements for multiplayer trophies. And so I think that one would be one where I would tell people, maybe don't. I would warn anybody away from, something like Mortal Kombat, which has you have to play as master each character and play for them for a certain amount of time. I think those are just to me, unless Mortal Kombat's one of your favorite game series, it's one of the few games you play a year, or you're one of those people that's competitive at it. I think that's a waste of time. Me personally, though, on my list, and I didn't play Mortal Kombat for trophies. I did play Resistance 2 though, but Dead Rising 2. Now that I had the trophy and I've had it for a while now, I'm glad I did it. But playing that game and getting the trophies was hell on earth. I hated that game while playing it for the trophies. Just the time constraints, the requirements, it just caused me a lot of unnecessary stress. And so I feel like Dead Rising 2, while I can look back on it and say, man, that's probably a rough trophy for a lot of people to get. And I would go back and play Bloodborne before I try to get this platinum trophy again. And we all know how I feel about that. But Dead Rising 2, there was so much stress, and it all was contained, and all because of that time limit around, you have this many days in in-game time, and you just had to do all these things. And it was just incredibly stressful. So looking back on it now, it's like, hey, yeah, I got this trophy. It sucked while I was playing it, but I haven't played it in years, and I still have the trophy. So that's, that's cool. But Dead Rising 2, I hated that game. Playing that game for trophies, it was not good. And I will say, I hated it so much that is the only Dead Rising I have ever played. Dead Rising, the original Dead Rising, I think was exclusive to the Xbox or something. You couldn't play it on PlayStation, and they eventually it's made its way to PlayStation. I haven't played Dead Rising 3. I haven't played Dead Rising the original, just Dead Rising 2, and that tells you all you need to know about that game and its trophies.
And my answer is all games with trophies, because you should be playing games for enjoyment. And if you're focused on trophies, maybe rethink why you're playing games. Or maybe you're playing games for trophies. Who am I to say? Don't listen to me. Gareth also asked, have any games or accessories caught your eye in the Black Friday sales you are considering picking up? And I'll answer this one first and give you guys a second. But before we started our recording tonight, I was talking with Alex that PlayStation is doing their $100 off of PlayStation consoles, and GameStop has the PS5 Pro and the disc drive pre-installed. I think they're calling it the pre-owned accessory pack for $650, and I could trade in my launch PS5 for $250, meaning I'd only have to spend $400 to upgrade to a PS6. And then I sat down and said, is it really worth it, especially with everything I got going on at this time? It caught my eye. Don't think I'm going to pull the trigger on it. I don't think I really need to upgrade to the PS5 Pro at this point. So that's what I was looking at. Either of you got a good answer?
I saw that the PS5s were $100 off, so if you hadn't had one, that would be a good deal. I saw $20 off on controllers. Roughly $20 off on controllers, so that wasn't hateful. The only game that caught my eye was Lego Horizon. You could get it for $20. Everything else that I saw that was on sale, I either haven't fully committed to, like Borderlands 4, or I just didn't care for it.
I actually saw Lego Horizon was on sale on Steam for $20, and I'm considering it. But again, I hear for how short that game is, I kind of want to wait till it gets down to 10.
Oh, it's super short.
I think they said it's like less than 10 hours or something like that. I don't know. I thought I remember Tricky saying he beat it pretty quickly.
Well, for $20, I wouldn't be heartbroken for that. And I put it on my Christmas list, so it's not like I would be out $20.
Okay. Alex?
So I haven't really scoped out the deals that much. I'll probably jump on the PlayStation Network. I know they had November sales going on recently, and I looked at that. But I did get a notification that Split Fiction's on sale, and that's been on our wish list for a little bit. So maybe Split Fiction, depending on the deal. But one deal, one of Ashley's kids, he likes football a lot. He's big in NFL, so Madden 26 was on sale for like $29 or something like that. And so as a Christmas gift, I got that for him. But otherwise, haven't really put anything down. Like I said, Marvel Cosmic Invasion, I'm buying that day one. It's not going to be on sale. I'll pay full price for it, whatever. But I've got a few things on my wish list. DLC for Gigabash, which never really goes on sale, so I hope for that. But Split Fiction, like I said, is on sale, so I keep my eyes open for that kind of stuff. But nothing really yet. I'm not really planning on buying any consoles. This isn't the year that I buy the Switch 2, so but I'm just going to look at the PlayStation Network sales and see what's on there. So
okay.
They got a pretty big list of stuff for their Black Friday sale, which I think is good through Tuesday. So Tuesday after you hear the show, 2nd of December. And then I think they normally do another sale like right before Christmas. I think they do like another like big Christmas.
I know Steam does.
I think PlayStation does normally. Normally like the week of Christmas through the new year, they have a big sale.
I know Steam has theirs coming up. It'll be the Thanksgiving sale followed by the holiday sale later in December. But that does lead into Thomas's question about, do you feel like maybe the Black Friday sales haven't been so hot this year? Is there anything?
100%.
Okay.
I wholeheartedly agree. I've been looking, and there's just, at least gaming wise, there hasn't been a lot of stuff. There's a lot. Obviously, there's a lot of stuff on sale. Not a lot of outside of gaming. Not a lot of things that are like attracting me or my wife. But it may just be kind of a down year per se. But that I can't really say. I'll just say yes. I've noticed that it doesn't seem to be a banner of a Black Friday sale all around, all encompassing.
Alex, how about you? Anything you feel like maybe could have been doing better this year on Black Friday?
I think Black Friday as a whole sucks. I'm not asking for people to have to work, like go to Thanksgiving dinner and then like have to immediately go to work and like allow thousands of stampeding customers into the store and then have to deal with that. No, I mean, shut it down for Thanksgiving, open up the next day, and allow people to come in and get their goods if they want to. But when I would Black Friday shop, and I went out for a few of them, I don't typically go after Black Friday. I would get DVDs or, video games or something like that. And honestly, ever since I've gone digital, I don't buy a lot of movies. The last movie I think I bought was Avengers Endgame. So that I don't have a use for that. And I don't spend a lot. I don't buy physical games anymore, at least for the PlayStation. And I have quite a few physical games for the original Switch, but there's not really. I mean, maybe if there was a good sale on Mario Party Jamboree, I might buy that. But for the most part, I've kind of closed out whatever I want on the Switch. So whatever I want's digital, so I don't have to go inside a store. I just buy off the PlayStation Network. Honestly, what I could really use is a good deal on some jeans, more than anything. I hate to sound practical, but yeah, I would love to save some money on some jeans right now. So yeah, I don't have a need to go into a store on Black Friday anymore. It just is, yeah.
No, I avoid Black Friday shopping whenever possible now because I have no desire to be around that number of people. I was just at Costco today, and I actually, as part of the move, I upgraded our Costco membership to the executive membership, which like is an extra $60 a year. And it comes with a couple perks, including 2% cash back, but it gave me a discount on the pods rental I need to do. And what that also does is it allows you to go into the store an hour earlier than the non-executive members. So I took advantage of that. And I got there for opening. And the amount of people at a Costco waiting in line to get in on a Sunday morning was just ludicrous to me. I mean, yes, I was there too, but I didn't go expecting to wait in line. Now, the line moved very quickly and you were able to get in, but I was just looking at going, okay, maybe I come a little after they allow everybody to start going in, so I'm not waiting in line because that was stupid. Yeah, I'm not feeling the Black Friday sales in general. I always look forward to the Steam sales because I buy more games that I'm not going to play. But in the grand scheme of things, I don't wait for Black Friday to buy a lot of stuff. Maybe, V and I are looking for new phones, so maybe Samsung will have something on Cyber Monday. But beyond that, no, nothing else I'm really trying to find. Speaking of the holidays, Thanksgiving, Thomas asks, what holiday movie must you see before ordering Thanksgiving every year? I'm not sure what he means by ordering Thanksgiving. Good question.
Maybe Thomas's family caters stuff.
Possibly. All you guys think of that? I don't know if I particularly have a movie, but I kind of lump Nightmare Before Christmas into all of that to say it's a Halloween movie, it's a Christmas movie. So therefore, anytime I get to watch that before the holidays is a good idea. Either of you have a movie that you must see before Thanksgiving rolls around?
No, I normally may watch some of my like Thanksgiving cartoons like Charlie Brown or Garfield, but no. Not really.
I used to fiend for the old Frosty the Snowman cartoons, and I go, that was a much simpler time in my life, and I don't know why. I wouldn't be able to stand watching the movie right now. So I don't know. Maybe it's something about being a kid.
Right.
Alex, do you have any movies that you fiend for come the holidays?
I really don't like get into the holiday spirit until after Thanksgiving. And so I like throughout December we'll watch holiday movies, but like there's a lot of them I'm willing to watch. A lot of it is just us going through the different like streaming sites or apps, whatever you want to call them, and just being like whatever tickles our fancy at that moment. I don't think we watch one movie every single year. It used to be a thing at my house where when I was opening presents at my mom's house or, at my dad's house, he would always turn it on too, like 24 Hours of a Christmas Story. Um,
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
well, I liked it. I mean, I watched it so much that my mom bought me the DVD and the VHS one year. So she's like, well, whenever you want to watch it, you can. And here's the thing. I never watched it during the year except for like in the lead up to Christmas. But we don't really have movies we watch every year. It's just kind of like what we're feeling like in the moment. We do have our favorite movies. Like, again, Nightmare Before Christmas, I think, is a good Halloween and Christmas movie. But it's not like, oh, we got to watch The Elf this year. It's that time. Got to watch Elf. I think the one thing that I've gotten really, especially with Ashley's youngest son, is I introduced him to the Garfield Christmas special, which is only like a half an hour. It's not that long. But that's something
So
I
good.
enjoyed as a kid. And he typically likes to watch it every year. So I guess that's the one thing we really try to watch every year for the last couple years running. But otherwise, it's just whatever we're fancying and whatever's available.
I was partial to Charlie Brown Halloween and the Garfield Halloween special.
Yeah, that one's good too.
And Thomas's final question, and I have to summarize this, Thomas, I'm sorry, but what has been the most loyal thing that you've had a consistency throughout your life? And his follow-up question hopefully illuminates this to say, maybe is it your relationship with video games or, maybe relationship with your animals? I have to say, I have a small set of friends who have been there for well over, 3 decades now. And those are the kind of consistencies that I enjoy throughout life, is having those people I know I can count on and be there. And I know they will be there for the next 30 some odd years.
Matt, could you repeat the question? Sorry, go ahead, Yield first.
No, I was going to say, I not to like sound like a broken record. I kind of agree with Matt. I've got a small core of friends that I hang out with on a regularly consistent basis. We get together once a month to play video games. So that's kind of been our thing since probably my 20s. So we're going on 20 plus years of doing that. So and I always have cinnamon rolls for Christmas.
Ooh, that's a good consistency.
We've I don't know when my mom started that. That was the only time we'd have cinnamon rolls. Was Christmas morning. So when I got married and it was like we're doing our first Christmas, and I'm like, I gotta have cinnamon rolls, and my wife's like, what? And I'm like, no, we're having cinnamon rolls. I don't care what the price is. We need to buy them early if they're expensive, but we're getting cinnamon rolls because I ain't having Christmas without my cinnamon rolls. So that's. Those are like two things that like never change.
To that aspect, our consistency is every year. Christmas Eve is a big Christmas party at my mom's. We've been able to keep that alive for years.
We used to do grandpa's until mom kind of took it over as me and my brother were graduating school. So we go to mom and dad's for Christmas Eve, and then everybody stays home for Christmas Day. Oh, and I get pizza for Christmas Day. We get a big deli pizza, so no one has to cook or worry about food. So we do cinnamon rolls and we do pizza.
Awesome. Alex, the question is like, do you have a consistency that has been consistent throughout your life? Is it games? Is it animals? Is it family? What's been consistent for you?
Is it so it's just like not just the holiday season, but all year round?
Yes.
Yeah, just what's your consistency?
Consistency. Good family. My mom and dad both live in town, and I can't say that we see each other as much as we should, but there's always been just a good relationship that I've, always been able to lean on my parents whenever they've been needed. Pets have been another consistency. We have 3 pets right now, and I grew up in a house with pets, so I I love to help animals, so I can't imagine that I'll never not want animals around. And then, video games has been a consistency since I was young. Hand me down NES from my brother. They came packed with a lot of games. He gave me the original Super Mario Brothers, Mega Man 3, the original Mega Man, Punch Out, Dragon Spirit, Castlevania. So there were so many games that I just got handed, essentially, that
classics
formed a basis for what I feel about video games and how I kind of judge a lot of things and which games I still choose to play. But also friends. Like, I've got friends who I have known since high school. I've got friends that I've known since elementary school. So I don't think a lot of people can say that they've had friends for, and maybe and if they can, that's great. But having friends that you've known since you were 10 and being able to carry that into adulthood is something pretty special. So, all of those things I would say are consistencies in my life. Oh, and my love for buffets. We went to the Chinese food buffet today. So COVID be damned, I will always go to buffets.
Nice. Yeah. But buffets are one of those things that you just have to turn your brain off and go,
Matt,
yeah,
I don't know
this
if
is what
you
I'm
know,
having.
you're talking to me, I turn my brain off most of the time.
I'm just saying specific to
we were sitting down to eat
buffets,
and Ashley, I got some a plate of sushi first, and I actually got some of the raw salmon, and Ashley's like, "Wow, raw fish at a buffet, that's a choice." And I'm like, "Yeah." It's like, well,
hey, it's not
earmuffs to anybody who doesn't want to hear this, but if I get sick, I'll just shit it out later. So
it's not.
That is true.
It's not gas station sushi, so you're good there.
No, I saw airport sushi once, and I was like, never gonna happen. Nope.
Ooh, yeah.
No.
All right. Well, thank you guys for writing in your questions. Hopefully, we gave you some enlightenment with our answers. On to our topic of the week, and this will have the transition music because it's not music.
Toe. Topic of the week. Well, fine then. Fuck you, Matt.
If you've had your head under the gaming rock over the past week, the nominees for the Game Awards came out, and this topic of the week is brought to you by Video Games Chronicle, who put everything in a nice orderly package for us to discuss. We're going to hit most of these content categories. As usual, we're going to skip ones that are, I believe, stupid and don't require any attention. So with that said, we're going to go into these and kind of hit some of the high points. As always, the Game of the Year category, which is nominated to kind of encompass the best game overall, not just like one part of it, but, as a complete package. And I know we haven't played all of these games, but I'm sure we have some thoughts or opinions. So that said, the Game of the Year nominees are Clair Obscur Expedition 33, Death Stranding 2 On the Beach, boy, Donkey Kong Bonanza, Hades 2, Hollow Knight Silksong, and Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. First question I have, is there any game missing out of this category that you guys believe should be there?
Well, first thing I want to say is it's the longest time that I can remember where a Sony published game is not on the list. Which kind of tells you what Sony's offerings were for this year.
Well,
I mean,
they didn't offer very much at all.
Well, they did, if you think.
Well, they offered
Ghost of Yote is not on here.
Yeah, that's kind of surprising.
Yeah, but also that.
So
that
I'm curious as to when the release date was and when the cutoff was.
It was early October, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was an early October game because it is on Best Game Direction.
Oh, okay then.
Yeah. So, and that being said, there hasn't been a Xbox game on a Game of the Year list since 2013, I think was the year. So,
well, Psychonauts was on a list. It was on the same year as Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, which, They had bought them by.
When did Psychonauts 2 come out? Let's see. Psychonauts 2 release date. 2021. So Game Awards 2021 categories. Game Awards 2021. Looks like new game. No. Game of the year. Oh, okay. Yeah, I was wrong. There you go. 2021. You were right, Alex. So you don't get that with Tricky hosting.
Yeah, he just would have.
Anyways.
With me.
Probably. So I don't know. Now, the bigger question is, which of those games do you guys think will actually win or has the best chances of winning? I'll even let you choose one or two.
Did you say Split Fiction was on there?
Split Fiction is on here, yes. No, I'm sorry. No. Split Fiction shows up elsewhere.
Oh, okay.
So, Claire Obscure, Death Stranding, Donkey Kong, Hades 2, Silk Song, or Kingdom Come Deliverance.
I'm surprised Kingdom Come Deliverance.
I'm not. The first game.
I'm not saying it's a bad game. I was just like, wow, I didn't know that had that big of a following.
It did. The first game evidently, snowballed into something much bigger. And the second one, people were saying, is a really good RPG.
I'm going to go Donkey Kong.
Bold. Alex?
I'll go with Claire Obscure. I've got a friend who will not shut up about that game. So.
Oh, you know what? Let me do this, and we'll get Tricky's thing here. Let me do this. We're gonna make this nice and official. Let's see. Game of the year. Matt, Alex, Yield. Yield said DK. Alex said Claire Obscure. I will say Claire Obscure as well. Okay.
Game. Let me ask you about. You know what else I didn't see on here?
What else did you see?
Mario Kart.
Yeah, this is not a Game of the Year category. It's not Game of the Year worthy. It's a good game. It's a good game, but I think many people said, is it an $80 game? All right. Game direction. What's the best game direction? Claire Obscure, Death Stranding 2, Ghost of Yotei, Hades 2, or Split Fiction? I think Split Fiction takes this one.
Yeah, I was going to say Split Fiction.
Name the games again. Best game direction.
Claire Obscure, Death Stranding 2, Ghost of Yotei, Hades 2, or Split Fiction?
I will say Ghost of Yotei.
Ghost. Okay. Best narrative. Claire Obscure. You're going to see a theme across all these. Claire Obscure, Death Stranding 2, Ghost of Yotei, Kingdom Come Deliverance, or Silent Hill F. I don't know anything about these. I'm split between Claire Obscure and Death Stranding 2. Do you guys have any thoughts?
What category were we at now?
Narrative.
I'm gonna go Kingdom Come.
Okay. Kingdom.
And if nobody can tell yet, I'm throwing darts at a dartboard.
That's fine. At the end, we're gonna tally up everybody who was right. Alex?
I'll say Silent Hill.
Bold choice. Art direction. Claire Obscure, Death Stranding 2, Ghost of Yotei, Hades 2, Hollow Knight Silksong. I'm going to go with Hades 2 on this one.
I'm going to go Ghost of Yotei.
Ghost?
And I will go Hollow Knight. Silksong.
All right. Best score and music leveled up by Spotify. That's great. Good job. Score and music is Christopher Larkin for his work on Hollow Knight Silksong, Darren Korb for Hades 2, Lorien Testard, Claire Obscure, Expedition 33, Toma Otoa, Ghost of Yotei, Woodkid, and Ludwig Forsil, Death Stranding 2. So basically your choices are Silksong, Hades 2, Clear Obscure, Yote, or Death Stranding.
I'm going to toss up between two.
I'm going to go Silk Song.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to go with. That was that or Yote, and I'm going to go Silk Song.
Okay. Alex?
I'll go Yote. Ghost of Yote.
Okay. Let's see. Best audio design. So sound effects, things like that. And that's going to be Battlefield 6, Claire Obscure, Death Stranding 2, Ghost of Yote, and Silent Hill. I'm going to say Yote in this case. I feel like a lot of the sound in that game is really great.
Yeah, I'll go Ghost.
Okay, Ghost.
Maybe I'll get one right.
I'll say Silent Hill.
Okay. I'm going to skip best performance because I don't think any of us really played enough of these to really know who does what. I would say, so for everybody listening, it's going to be Ben Starr from Claire Obscure, Charlie Cox from Claire Obscure, Erika Ishii from Ghost of Yote, Jennifer English from Claire Obscure, Konatsu Kato, Silent Hill, and Troy Baker. I'm not counting this for anything.
Troy's is for Indiana Jones, isn't he?
Yes, correct.
I'm going Troy Baker because I think he did a damn good Indiana Jones.
I was going to say Troy too. I don't know. Well, all right, maybe we will count this. Best
because I played that game, so
okay.
He probably ain't going to win because it sounds like Claire Obscure is got the runaway in this one. But
yeah, when they take up half of the freaking
nominees, yeah. So, but I'm still going Troy.
Okay, Alex, any preference?
No, let's just go Troy Baker and Indiana Jones.
It's 3 for Troy. Innovation and accessibility. I'm just going to go over these. No voting. Assassin's Creed Shadows, Atomfall, Doom: The Dark Ages, EA Sports Football Club 26, and South of Midnight. Games for Impact. I never understood. Best ongoing. We'll do best ongoing. All right, Alex. It is Final Fantasy XIV, Fortnite, Helldivers 2, Marvel Rivals, and No Man's Sky.
Marvel Rivals.
I'm going to say No Man's Sky. Yield.
Man, they had to put No Man's Sky in there because I was so going to homeboy and go Helldivers 2.
I feel like No Man's Sky is on there every year because they keep supporting.
Because it just keeps going.
Yeah.
And Helldivers 2 has been getting a lot of crap lately. So let's go No Man's Sky.
Okay. We're going to skip best community support because that's subjective. Best independent game.
Oh, okay. This might be good. I might have tried one of these.
Ready, Alex? It is Absalom. I have no idea what that is.
Yeah, never heard of it.
Ball Pit, Blueprints, Claire Obscure, Hades 2, and Hollow Knight.
This is going to be Blueprints.
Okay.
What is Blueprint?
That's the game where you
Blueprints
go into the mansion. It's a puzzle solver. It's procedurally generated.
Yeah. I also was saying Blueprints.
Let's go. Let's go Hades 2.
Okay. Hades 2. We're going to skip that. Skip mobile. Skip VR. Best action. Here we go. All right, Alex. It is Battlefield 6, Doom: The Dark Ages, Hades 2, Ninja Gaiden 4, and Shinobi Art of Vengeance.
I'll go Hades 2 on this one.
Okay.
I'm going to go Doom: Dark Ages.
Okay. And I think I was going with Hades 2 on that one.
I'm outnumbered.
Best action adventure. Alex, it is Death Stranding 2, Ghost of Yote, Indiana Jones, Silk Song, or Split Fiction. This one I'm having a tough one with.
Best action.
Best action adventure.
Split Fiction.
All right. Split Fiction.
Well, I'm going with the one that I've played, so I'm going with Indiana Jones.
And I think I was going to go Hades. No, Hades 2 isn't on this one. I think I was going to go with Ghost. RPG. What is the best RPG this year? Avowed, Claire Obscure, Kingdom Come, Outer Worlds 2, or Monster Hunter Wilds. Alex?
Well, I do believe it's Monster Hunter Wilds.
Yeah, that's where I would actually disagree.
I'm going Kingdom Come too.
Kingdom Come. And I'm saying Claire Obscure. Best fighting game. I hate this category this year. This is such...
Mortal Kombat!
Well, it's the Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection.
Oh,
The Capcom Fighting Collection 2. Fatal Fury City of Wolves. 2XKO. And Virtua Fighter 5 Revo World Stage. Alex?
Were any of these new games?
I think, well, Virtua Fighter 5. I think Virtua Fighter 5. I'm going to go Fatal Fury because it was the only freaking new one I could identify.
Ditto. I'm going with the only new one.
All right, Alex?
I'll go with Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection.
Okay. Best family game is Donkey Kong Bonanza, Lego Party, Lego Voyagers, Mario Kart World, Sonic Racing, or Split Fiction. Alex?
Well, we know
Mario Kart World.
Yield?
best family game. Let's go Donkey Kong.
Okay, I too was saying Donkey Kong. Do you guys want to do Sim Strategy? I feel, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to do Sim Strategy because I think this is a lock for Final Fantasy Tactics. So the options are The Altars, Final Fantasy Tactics, The Ivalice Chronicles, Jurassic World Evolution 3, Sid Meier's Civilization 7, Tempest Rising, and 2 Point Museum. Alex?
I'll say Sid Meier's Civ 7.
Okay, Yield?
Okay, I don't stand a chance in this one, but I'm going 2 Point Museum just because that game. I like the graphic style in that.
Okay. Sports racing is kind of annoying this year because there's a bunch of racing games.
It's also subjective.
Yeah.
It's always the EAs and stuff like that.
Well, yeah, you got the EA FC 26. That's the wait, what? Isn't that football? I have no idea.
FC, that's probably like European football.
Yeah, that's why I don't get it. So we'll go with the other ones. F1 25, Mario Kart World, Rematch, or Sonic Racing. I'm saying Mario Kart.
You know what? I'll go Rematch. I even though I wasn't very good at it, I did enjoy the demo that I played.
Alex?
These categories for what?
Racing.
I'll say Sonic.
1 for Sonic. Best multiplayer, Arc Raiders, Battlefield 6, Elden Ring Night Reign, Peak, and Split Fiction. Alex?
I'll say Elden Ring Night Reign.
I'll go Split Fiction.
Okay, and I'm going Arc Raiders.
Which is probably what it is.
Skipping best adaptation because that was just a bunch of bullshit. Most anticipated game. 007 First Light, Grand Theft Auto 6.
You can stop, Matt.
Wolverine.
Stop, Matt.
Yeah, you can just stop.
Everybody's saying GTA.
Yeah, although honestly, personally, I mean, my pick's going to be GTA. Personally, mine's 007. I'm looking forward to 007 for next year, but the winner's going to be GTA 6.
All right, and the rest are just content creator, esports,
I
so.
don't care about that.
All right, well, we've got 18 categories of the 29 that we covered. I'll try to get Tricky to give us any sort of answer on that. But that is
before the show.
Before, yes.
Before
I'll send
the
him
answers.
I'll send him it and say everything has to be in within a week. I'll keep track of it and I'll report back when I do get back, or I will just give you guys the answer after Game Awards and you can talk to it. So that brings us to the end of our show. We will move on to our shout out. So Yield, I'll give you the honor going first.
Shout out to Matt and Alex for recording this evening. Shout out to I drew a blank already, but shout out to the guys that gave us questions this week. Those were fun. Shout out to Gareth for the trophy rarity contest that he puts on the last couple of years and all the work that he puts into it, keeping the stats straight and then his write-ups every week. They're personalized, and so I like that. Shout out to everybody that follows us, hangs out with us, plays games with us. You're all awesome. Have a safe Thanksgiving, and see ya. That's it. Shout out's done.
Nice. Alex?
Nice. I want to give a shout out to our awesome community, the fuel to the fire of this trophy horse. Our listeners, thank you all very much for your continued support. I hope you all have a happy and healthy start to the holiday season. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. And I just want to give a shout out to my co-host, Matt and Yield, along with Tricky, who was not able to join us tonight. And Matt, hopefully everything goes smoothly with you all finding a new place to call home. And Cosmo also wishes you all good luck in that search. Last but not least, give a shout out to my awesome and loving girlfriend, Ashley. I love you, hun. And yeah, that's going to be it for me. Matt, please thank Will for his art.
Well, it sounds like you already did.
Wow.
Thanks to you guys for recording tonight. Thanks to Tricky for, keeping things on lockdown behind the scenes. Thanks to our community. Thanks to Will for his art. Thank you to the Channel 3 community. Make sure to check out channel3.gg for some gamified social media. Shout out to my wife V, and special shout out to everybody else out there, as I will be taking a couple weeks away to get done what I need to get done. So I'll still be around on the medias. If you need, hit me up. Otherwise, I will see you when I get back. Happy hunting, folks.
Later.
See ya.
The theme song is Venus by the band Even off their album Zenith. Permission granted by the band and 12 Stone Records. You can find them on Facebook by going to www.facebook.com/evenphilippines.